Hey, everybody. Today we have Matt here with Cross Country Mortgage. He's an expert on mortgages, so he's great for anyone looking for a mortgage broker. But we're going to get in today to kind of all about mortgages, where he sees mortgages rates going, how to get approved for a mortgage, different situations he's had where he's gotten people approved for a mortgage that could help you on what you are doing. For those of you that have went to a big bank to try to get a loan and you've not gotten approved, I do recommend that you go with an independent mortgage broker that really understands because, the banks have their own boxes, right? Like Fannie and Freddie have their box and the bank has box, and sometimes their box is even stricter than Fannie and Freddie's box. And, they don't necessarily, when they're working for the bank, they're just pushing paper, right? They're not really trying to be strategic. And so a lot of times, you can have issues there too. So I highly recommend that if you've been turned down for a loan or you don't think you can get approved, that you still, see what you can do. And, Matt or whoever, like they know they have different loan products and different things that they can do. So, and Matt, to kind of go on from there, why don't you tell them about the 552 credit score that you just got approved for a loan and how that kind of works?
So the nice thing about Cross Country is we will go off the automated findings. A lot of banks out there have hard stops at like 620 FICO scores, 640 FICO scores. Recently I had this friend of mine call me and, she had been turned down by 5 different banks, and I ran her loan through the automated system going FHA. And I didn't think there was a chance that it would go through. And sure as it went through at 554. Actually, I think it's a 552 mid FICO score. Went through automated system. She did have a nice down payment, but I mean, the credit report, had some delinquencies on there and things of that nature. But if it goes through the automated system, people don't realize that whatever it spits out as far as what we need to document with that personal home loan, then that's all I need to do to satisfy the loan. And she had been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. So she didn't have any history. I had to go all the way back to her education and use her school transcripts as a 2-year history. Went through the automated system, got her into her house, for her and her kids. And, there's not a loan that I'm not going to look at and try to get into the automated system. So, there's FHA. We strictly go off the automated system. VA, same way. Our VA home loans, they don't have necessarily a debt to income ratio. So I've seen them as high as 60% go through the automated system. There's a lot of banks hard stop at 45. Same way FHA, debt to income ratio on FHA, we're at like 57.99%. Conventional, some of our transactions will go above 50%. So a lot of the banks I know out there hard stop 43% on conventional as well. So, a lot of people need that extra little, 0.7%, whatever it may be, or 7%, to get qualified for these home loans just because the rates are a little bit higher.
Now, you had mentioned to me that, so everyone obviously knows what a primary mortgage is and then your investment loan or secondary mortgage. And a lot of people think if they already have one primary loan that they cannot do another primary loan, but that's not always the case. So do you want to dive into that?
Sure. I mean, you do on your, so if you already owned a home and let's just say it's under a year, there is a disclosure within your loan package stating that you will live there, for a minimum of a year. Sometimes it says 2 years. But, certain circumstances change. You could change school districts. You have a change of job. Maybe you need to upgrade. Maybe you have, wife is pregnant. More dogs, whatever you need to do to increase either or downsize on your home. So every situation is a little bit different. So I get a lot of investors. They're like, well, or not even investors, just somebody that, for instance, I just am closing one next month. She just closed in March. They bought a brand new build home out in Queen Creek, Arizona. And then she wanted to move 2 blocks away for a whole house that was like 2,000 square feet more. And she didn't think she could do it as a primary. She got told no, because she bought the first one with minimum down payment, yada, yada, yada. And no, that's not the case. So, her family size increased by 1. The builder ended up giving them a really smoking deal on it. So, as long as you make a case for continuously buying a primary, then you can always qualify as a primary as long as, you have a, good story, So I even have veterans every year, they'll go buy a new one with their VA. They'll, do a refinance on their current loan, put it into a conventional, go buy another one the next year, and vice versa. I mean, that's how a lot of these, investors build their wealth with their homes. So yeah, you can buy multiple primary residences. You don't have to flip one or refinance it into an investment property. You can just, continuously buy year after year, as long as it makes sense.
And that's interesting. So a lot of you that are sitting on, 2.5%, 3% mortgages, and if you own and you don't want to sell, right, you can rent those homes out and still qualify for another primary loan. I think that's a misconception, is that, if you keep this primary and you rent it, you would have to buy your next home as a investment property, which is just not the case. I mean, like Matt said, that even if it's been less than a year, 2 years, if there's a case for you to rent it, that you can, even if it's a primary loan.